In this episode, we chat with Shreya Adhav, an award-winning nutritionist and founder of the SpirEat Sports Nutrition Clinic in India. With more than 5 years of experience advising athletes across the globe, Shreya has worked with runners, triathletes, swimmers, ultra-endurance cyclists, and many others. She holds a master's degree in sports nutrition and has a personalized approach to dealing with her athletes ranging from Olympians, Arjuna Awardee Winners, Ironman triathletes, and national and international level competitors. Shreya is also a frequent guest on conference stages, moderating and leading conversations around nutrition and how it can be implemented to improve performance, recovery, and overall well-being. There's a lot to learn when it comes to the complexities of the human body, from biochemistry to metabolism, so we discuss things like macronutrients, the glycemic index, supplements, healthy fats, the ketogenic diet, and much, much more. Shreya's secret to success? Creating healthy habits and not restrictions. I'm wondering, what percentage do you think nutrition plays in the success of ultra endurance athletes, specifically in our case, ultra cyclists? Perhaps if we're comparing that to the mental and physical preparation and execution, what percentage do you think nutrition plays?
So I would like to give a range over here because we can't really give a particular specific percentage because cycling is an event, or ultra cycling is an event wherein you need to be mentally and physically prepared as well. So that's a major chunk of the percentage what goes in over there. Talking about nutrition, somewhere I can say from 40 to 60% of the importance should go to nutrition because to keep it very simple, until unless you're not fueling well, you're physically not well, you're mentally not strong enough. So if there's no food inside, ultimately you will not be able to perform at your best. So I can say somewhere between 40 to 60%. Sure. uh, so talking about the basics, so like I initially also said, no food is bad, okay, because every food has some or the other nutrient, whether it can be a macronutrient or whether it can be a micronutrient. So to be a little more elaborative about it, macronutrients are the nutrients which basically gives you energy in a much higher quantities as compared to your micronutrients. So the macros are basically divided or known as your carbohydrate, proteins, and fats. Okay, carbohydrates are then divided into complex and simple carbohydrates. So simples are the one which basically your body can digest at a much faster rate because they do not have enough of fiber in it. Versus if you talk about complex carbohydrates, they are the one which are filled with fiber, and that gives you prolonged energy, and plus your body is able to digest them at a much slower rate as compared to uh, uh, the simple carbs. Okay, the example of this is potato and sweet potato. So potato is basically a simple carb versus sweet potato is something which has complex carbohydrates.
What would happen if they ate too much protein, and say even in just a duration of several days, up to 12 days, and they were having, say, perhaps call it an imbalance or a disproportionate amount of protein versus, say, the carbohydrates and the fats? What symptoms may someone feel or notice?
uh, I would say definitely there would be the energy what is required for a race like ramp. Okay, you need to have a constant source of glucose that is coming in, whether it is in the simple form, whether it is like a fast absorbing glucose or a slow absorbing glucose or a gradual source of energy. So protein is something which I would consider to give only for the recovery process. If a person is taking a higher amount of protein, their body is going to take good amount of time to digest it. And if your body is going to digest it at a much slower rate, you will not have that sort of an energy to perform for those 12 days of duration. And like you said, there is good amount of 10,000 calories which are required to have per day when you're cycling for those many hours or those many kilometers. So protein is just going to make you slower. It might give you a little bit discomfort when we talk about digestion, when we talk about any sort of a indigestion issue or maybe bloating or anything of that sort. So the simple thing is it will not give you the instant energy what the sport is required to have.
Check out our website for a full list of episodes, our YouTube video library, and of course, follow us on Facebook to get the latest and greatest straight to your feed. And if you're on the go, be sure to download our audio episodes from your favorite podcast platform, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Until next episode, Ultra Family, keep spinning Ultra.